call. It 6 o'clock hour across sweet and beautiful and wet. SVG, you remain Hyrule, land of the blessed, gem of the Antilles. All right? If you're thinking about coming home, yeah, come home soon. Come home soon. All right? We love it when you guys come home, those in the diaspora. I would say good morning. Good morning to all the folks across the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Those who are listening in the rest of the region, US, UK, Canada, Asia, Africa, good morning to you. I hope you're listening, whether it's via 88.5, 104.3, www.x104fm.com, your favorite app, your favorite website, however you're locked on, wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, you're on the road, you're in the train, you're in your private vehicle, you're going to deliver snacks or drinks, you're in your house, you're in your yard, you're in your farm, you're down there at the vegetable market, you're getting your stuff ready to go out on the sea today. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Or you're just staying at home because you're on vacation, whatever you're doing. Good morning to all the self-employed individuals who are listening as well. Yeah, I hope today is a really good hustle. A rainy day is not always the best day for business, unless, of course, you're selling umbrellas and water boots. Yeah. Everybody wants an umbrella when it's raining. You got to think outside the box, you know what I'm saying? We're going to take you up until the 10 o'clock hour this morning, as usual. It is the 12th day of October 2021. All right, DJ Jose taking care of the music, and yours truly, Crystal, taking care of everything else. All right. If you want to hit us up, the WhatsApp number is 430-1043. To call us when the lines are open, 457-1043. You can also hit us up on WhatsApp. Not WhatsApp. Facebook now. You know what I mean? YouTube. Help me out too, number. At Extreme 104 SVG, all right? Make sure to like, share, and of course, subscribe. Oh, yes. As we head on up to the 7 o'clock hour, though, we have your X News and your local weather reports coming up for you. All right? Giving you what's trending locally, regionally, and internationally. Locally, though, you know, COVID-19. Yeah, that's what we are dealing with right about now, including some other things. But here's something that I found rather interesting, all right? About 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago, 2 weekends ago, we spoke about the changes at AIA in terms of testing and protocol, all right? In terms of moving from the airport to your quarantine facility, we spoke about that. We had officials from the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and the Environment talking to us about pilot program that was repeated the following weekend. Now, there were rumors going around how, oh my goodness, we didn't have no swabs, we didn't have no testing kits, we didn't have this, that, and terror. The nurses were there, nobody said anything. A whole bunch of stuff. But that apparently was the beginning of a series of changes. I would say based on perhaps new information, based on what WHO and PAHO they have disseminated to various countries, based on what they are sharing right now. Listen, the only thing constant with anything at all in life is change. So we're seeing a few different things here. Coming from IWA. New approach to COVID testing. Release from isolation. Rather interesting, I tell you. Rather interesting. So it says here, people who test positive for COVID-19 in SVG will be released from home isolation without a PCR test if they are symptom-free for the 3 days leading up to the release. That there puts the responsibility on the individual to be honest and to release themselves from self-isolation in their own homes. know some people are going to be upset with that, and some people are going to find it very scary because in the beginning, we were so concerned about the quarantine protocols and people breaking protocols and people leaving hotels who might have been positive. Y'all remember that scene from OTR? Early up in the movie. Big hoorah. Woman catching van and she knows she have COVID. All over the community and she knows she have COVID. So I know some people are not going to be happy about hearing this. But this is how it's going to be going forward. If you are at home, you're isolating yourself at home, you will be released from that without a PCR test. If they are symptom free, if you are symptom free for the 3 days leading up to the release, it says the isolation period 14 days for unvaccinated, 10 days for vaccinated. And this is not coming from a random website. This is not coming from a random individual. This is coming from the Chief Medical Officer of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, duly appointed and qualified, Dr. Simone Keyser Beach. She also said, and I actually went ahead and checked. Not that I doubt it. Come on, man. Come on. This mask thing here, boy. Hold on. In this studio, I took off the mask. Not that I doubted what she shared, you know? No way. That's not why I went on WHO's website and checked it. Nah. But if you go there, because I know that there will be some naysayers, and I want to be able to say for a fact, listen, it is there. Go and check it yourself. You understand? You understand where I'm coming from? All right, wonderful. Glad that we're on the same page here. So these changes are in keeping with what WHO and PAHO are sharing now. Now, I know what you're going to say about this too. Lord have mercy. Every day something new. Yesterday they tell we to wear what mask? Today they're telling us to wear 2 masks. What next, Father? The reality is, as time progresses, we are going to learn more things. They are going to do more studies. They are going to find out new things. Some information that cleared a lot of things up with us. That might help to relieve some of the unnecessary stress and high blood pressure that some of you might be facing. In terms of close contacts and getting tested. The 15-minute period, the not wearing the mask, how you qualify to be a close contact to go and get yourself tested or to be quarantined. Good information as well. So you should check it out on their Facebook page. Now, it continues by saying, right? Dr. Keyser Beach said that health officials will be contacting people who have been in isolation for 14 days. She said, if we don't contact you, we ask that you contact a clinic to confirm that you can be released from isolation without a PCR test. It says here again, if you are 14 days and you have symptoms, you still need to meet with your healthcare provider. Again, this is coming from worldwide evidence and the recommendation from WHO and PAHO. And the other thing is that a close contact is somebody who has spent 15 minutes or more within 2 meters or 6.5 feet of a known positive. Now, this might be a little bit problematic. Just a little bit problematic. And I'm going to pull out an issue that a lot of people have had for the past however long. The calling. We have so many. Okay, maybe not that many, but we have quite a bit of positive cases. And the Ministry of Health is only this small. And remember as well, the COVID-19 hotline They're not going to be manned by 1,000 people. The persons who are responsible for calling people are not going to be manned. Let me repeat that. The persons who are responsible for calling, I don't think is a really high number. At some point, they are going to be overwhelmed. People have been complaining that they are not being called to be given results. Sometimes you have persons who came in to the country who were supposed to be called by officials but were never called. That needs to be sorted out. You might miss one or two people in between, but oh gosh, man, the number of complaints that we've heard here, I am hoping that going forward that would be rectified. That's one of the things constructively, because I know a lot of people like to be up in the feelings, that needs to be rectified as much as possible. The calling there. All right. Some people getting held upon their jobs. Some people being prevented from going back to work. All kind of things being held up because of the calling thing. I wish we had an app. I wish there was an easier way to get information from the ministry to people. Because do you realize that if our numbers were higher than this, how much more chaotic it would be in terms of calling people for results, calling people to check up on them, or even the mental side of things. Persons who might request that service. Think about how much more chaotic it would have been. It's already chaotic. 3 wards occupied. AIF, well, you can't even consider that anymore. And supplies are running low. Let me throw out some more. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Wake Up Call. If you want to throw in a comment, 430-1043. That's the WhatsApp, 457-1043. We're also live on Facebook at Extreme 104 SVG. Now, if you're at home in self-isolation because you have been tested positive for COVID-19, you will not be required to take a PCR test to leave quarantine, to leave isolation, sorry. Isolation is for when you are positive with COVID-19. Quarantine is for suspects. All right. Back to school there. But really and truly, it only makes sense because when your symptoms have disappeared, it means that it might take about 2 or 3 days before the actual virus leaves your system. You understand? So it only makes sense. Yeah. Good one. So let me read some more from you. It says here again, right? And pay attention to this one here. The new rules seem to target PCR testing. If somebody has symptoms, fever, cough, cold, we do a rapid antigen test. Remember, our dear friend, Mr. Elliott, explained the rapid antigen test for us, right? Which gives results in 20 minutes. And if it is positive, it means that the person is positive. Here's another one. She further said that during periods when there is not an upsurge in cases, which is not now, a positive rapid test will be followed up with a PCR test. You understand what's going on here? But the evidence is clear that if somebody during an outbreak, which is what is going on here, has symptoms which are consistent with COVID, there is no need to go from a positive antigen onto a PCR. So good news, you don't have to do 2 tests. If you are symptomatic and you have a positive antigen test, you do not have to go on to a PCR. I wish we could have done this long time. We could have saved on the PCR test, man. But you know what I believe? I believe the PCR test is running real low. Really, really low. Let's see what time it is. 19 minutes on to the 7 o'clock hour. Rather interesting. So it says here again, just for clarity's sake, all right? We love clarity. So anybody with a positive antigen test with symptoms would be considered a positive, as there would be no need to do a PCR, which is what the lab does. If you don't have no symptoms and you are positive on the rapid antigen, then they go ahead and do the PCR. So they're saving on the PCR testing there. So all the time, really and truly, we were wasting the PCR test. No fault of ours. No fault of the ministry. Okay? Because they have already outlined the criteria for everything that they do. Don't try to bring up any conspiracy theory here. These are the professionals. You understand? With over 1,000 cases here, there's plenty work to do, you know. Real plenty work to do. Here's another thing that we should be looking at. The fact that the lab is run 24 hours a day. 3 sets of working shifts. So, all right, children, those who are in grades 1 and 2, 24 divided by 3 is what? All right, 8, because we're in school. This is online teaching right now. Yeah. Thanks for the salary, Mr. Curtis King. Big up yourself. So every 8 hours, there is a change in staff at the lab at the MCMH. So the lab is in operation 24 hours a day. Today is Tuesday. And we are still awaiting results from last week. A serious backlog. A serious backlog. So there are some spill-off benefits to changing the way we do our testing here. The only thing constant is change. All right? And they already said that this is coming from PAHO. This is coming from WHO. If you are symptomatic and you do your rapid antigen test, there is no need to do your PCR test. So there is no need for you to wait on another positive result. There is no need for the lab to process that test, because you're symptomatic already. And if you're symptomatic and your test doesn't say positive, there's absolutely no need to go forward. Which means it's going to reduce the workload at the lab. Here's something else that is rather interesting about this. Let me read it word for word. Dr. Keyser said, all right? Let me read it properly on top of the lab. All right. The article says, on top of that, the lab has been plagued by staff exhaustion and people falling sick. So says the CMO. Adding that health officials have considered bringing in new staff. But here what's happening. You cannot bring in new specialized staff just like that. It's not like if you're bringing in somebody to cut some grass, even though you need some skill to cut the grass. You are dealing in a medical field. It is not so easily to bring in somebody from outside to come and do that sort of specialized work. It's not so easy, especially now. Especially now. Down there, highly specialized. You don't just call anybody. Hey, come help me do some tests on the lab, please. Like, everything is very specific. The reagents that to use are very specific. You gotta know the names of all the test tubes and all the equipment in there. You gotta know how to use the machines. Plenty buttons. I've actually had the privilege of being in a lab for a while, so I know how it does look and thing. And I actually was not allowed to do pretty much anything. I was just there looking and learning. Can't touch nothing. Otherwise, I'm gonna mess up somebody's results. Do you know how chaotic that would be? But here's something that you should pay attention to. Staff exhaustion. They're running 24 hours a day, 3 shifts a day. And the staff down there either falling sick, exhausted. I wonder if people are doing 2 shifts in a day. It's crazy. It is crazy. And just over 1,000 active cases. These are the problems that we're plagued with as a very small nation, 110,000 people strong. And these are the issues that we're plagued with. It's crazy, huh? Real chaotic. Real chaotic. So let me go some more. Some things that you should pay attention to as well. She further said that the lab has been out of kits because of the increased demand for testing at this time. I know that you are going to think the reason they're changing these protocols, the reason they're making all these changes is because they not got no kits. And they're running low and they do not want to come to another point where we do not have kits to test people. They've been out of kits because of the increased demand for testing, but they were able to source some on Friday. Reason for the backlog? Yeah? Staff exhaustion, people ill, no kits, no supplies. Chaotic, I tell you, chaotic. With the kits as well as staff returning, the lab would be able to deal with the backlog, adding that some people have been waiting since Tuesday to get their results back. This was last week. They even had to send to CAFA. And that and all was another backlog. So wait for those results. Chaotic, I tell you. Chaotic. It ends by saying, and I quote, "We are doing everything we can to take care of that backlog. But as you would imagine, even as you deal with the backlog, you have new samples every day. You always pass them clinics on a day-to-day basis. I swear there's be having some party for the line of vehicles I just see parked outside of the one in Calico. The Calico Flu Clinic, full. Every day. Every time I pass. Long line of vehicles. Outside have people. Listen, they even have a tent outside with benches. Well, perhaps for the social distancing and the physical distancing there. But still. Always full. Always full. It is chaotic. Now, I hope that you're able to pull out little tidbits from that there. The article was short, but it was compact. Packed with a lot of different things in there that we really should be paying attention to. The backlog of testing and results. The fact that there was a shortage of kits, but that has been rectified. The changes to the testing coming out of self-isolation. You don't have to do a PCR test anymore. Once your symptoms cease, you have to call, or they will call you, to be released from self-isolation. Pay attention to those little tidbits there. Let's get some responses in. Oy. All right. Hey, Josh. Hello, DJ Kabuli. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Pat. All right. Good morning, Extreme. All right. Crystal, the quarantine protocols announced yesterday are not new. They have been in place earlier in the year. What quarantine protocols? The ones that you don't Okay. Trying to understand that there. Good morning to Conrad as well. Somebody says, I agree, the mobile app, but a location offline something. Yeah, an app would have been so ideal right now instead of having to bombard the system with a lot of questions and calls and so on. So perhaps, for the people who are in isolation, you have your own little profile there in the app. So you go in and you check, and whosoever is working in the backlog, it could just be one or two people. I don't know how it works, or it could work, but I'm pretty sure it could be a lot easier. Then you see when you are able to leave quarantine, you enter your symptoms daily, and what's not, and then bam, it tells you that you're free to go, you're free to leave. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we're too late into it now. I know that it was suggested to the former Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment in terms of a COVID-19 tracking. My friend from Grenada actually made the link, and just went up and spoke. I don't know what happened. I guess we didn't see the need for it at the time. Would have been really beneficial now. But hey, too late for that. Good morning to highly favored. The system that they have will fail eventually because of lack of experience and knowledge. They don't even follow up the person after 14 days. Nonsense. They don't record and report recoveries correctly. Problems all around. They ain't ready yet. Alrighty then. Good morning to Susan and good morning to Dave. We're going to end the live on Facebook right about now. Thank you for joining.